Hey, how's it going? My name is Shu. I'm a former data scientist and now creator. So I always carry both an iPhone and Android for my work, but I usually find myself using my iPhone more simply because of the apps that are exclusive to iOS. So I thought I would share with you some of my favorite apps on my iPhone that maybe make you want to get an iPhone. Sequel is the kind of app that makes me think, why didn't this exist before? It's essentially a tool to keep track of activities you can do during your downtime. That includes things like movies, shows, games, and books. And today we have so many options available for us to choose from. Even on Netflix, I usually spend so much time trying to choose what to watch that I end up watching nothing at all. Sequel aims to solve this issue. When you find a movie, book, or a game that you want to check out, just open Sequel, search for it, and then add it to your list. Alternatively, you can save something directly from your browser or any other app. I love how it automatically analyzes the item and grabs the key information such as the cast, rating, description, and so on. You can even watch the trailer as well. And even within the app, you get to see what movies are coming up so you can add them directly to your list. The same goes for games, shows, and books as well. And once you finish watching or playing, you can change the status and rate it if you want. Now, whenever you have free time and want to wind down, you can just open Sequel and check out what you can do. In my experience, this is much quicker than trying to decide what to do on the spot. Also, I just want to quickly mention a similar app that's equally great, Sofa. It's also a downtime organizer, and for better or worse, it's evolving into much more. It lets you track not just movies, shows, games, and books, but also pretty much anything you want, such as restaurants, places to visit, or even people to meet up with. So something I really like is the logbook. When you watch a movie or read a book, you can add that to your logbook, and later you can see how you spend your time. I think this will be useful when, for example, you're talking with your friend and they ask you what movies you recently watched or what books you recommend, and you just see your logbook and share the information with them. But my concern is that it's becoming more than just a downtime activity tracker. It's becoming more like Notion with lots of customization. That's really cool. But I don't want to spend hours learning how to use it like I did with Notion or building my own ideal setup. I just want a simple tool that helps me organize my downtime. So, it really comes down to your own preferences and needs. Something that not many people talk about is how good Safari can be on iPhone. There's actually lots of extensions available now that let you do a lot of cool stuff. One of the extensions is Rewind, which is also a mobile app. In a nutshell, it's an AI assistant in your pocket. You can simply ask it anything and it will give you an answer like most AI apps do now. But it does much more than that. It remembers what you see on Safari as well as the screenshots you take. Then you can just go back and see what you saw and what you did if there's something you want to check again. Or you can simply ask a question about what you are looking for. For instance, if you saw a funny meme or a cool tweet that you want to find again but can't remember the name, you can ask Rewind and it will show you the info. Alternatively, when you are doing a lot of research and reading, you can then ask Rewind to summarize everything you read about a certain topic. It will then give you an answer with reference links so you can go check the original source. And I believe this is all free, if I remember correctly, which is bonkers. But the only downside is that it's going to take up a lot of space on your iPhone because it has to store all the data it records on Safari. But other than that, it's really handy AI tool. Now, Document is like an all-in-one toolkit that extends your iPhone's capabilities by adding a whole new set of features. And they're kindly sponsoring this video today. One of my favorite things is the built-in browser. It comes with a VPN. This means my browsing is safe and private, and I can even change my virtual location to access more content from different regions. The VPN works across all my apps, which adds an extra layer of security. Another great feature is how it brings all my files together from different platforms. I have files on Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, and iCloud. With Documents, I can access and manage everything from one place. It links these services easily and keeps my files updated on all my devices. Now I can view, edit, and organize all my documents, books, audio, and video in one app. Speaking of editing documents, the PDF editing is fantastic. I can add comments, highlight text, and even edit the PDFs. It's been a lifesaver for making last-minute changes to my files. Signing PDFs is really quick, and I can merge or split documents with ease. It's a handy multi tool to have it on your iOS devices. From downloading and managing files to editing PDFs and browsing with the VPN, it has become my main app for getting things done more efficiently. If you haven't tried it yet, check it out from the link in the description. It's a great tool to have it on your phone. I just talked about Safari, but I have to mention another great browser that's also worth checking out. Search is my go-to for browsing the web. It doesn't have handy extensions like Safari, but some of its features makes it better in my opinion. First, this seems like a really minor thing, but I absolutely love how it opens a search bar the moment I open the app. This way I can start typing my query right away. It only saves a tiny bit of time, but it accumulates over time. Then you see this little button that says Browse for me. It's similar to how Perplexity works, but it essentially finds a number of relevant websites for you and summarizes the findings. Recently, I use this quite often when I want to look up something quickly. Plus, I don't have to deal with ads in the search results or on the web pages. Another way I'm using it is when I'm going through news and articles every morning. I use this app called InnoReader to aggregate all the articles and videos from my favorite websites and YouTube channels. Then, if I see something that I want to read, I just open it on Arc and read the whole thing. Or if I don't have enough time, I just pinch it, which will summarize the whole content. Arc is not just useful, but also such a joy to use because of its design and animations. You've probably heard of Fantastical before because it's existed for ages, but it's still the best calendar app for iOS. There's nothing that special about it, to be honest, but the way it lets you create events and tasks with the natural language processing is just so easy and fast. Instead of having to manually type out all the event details, you can just write it out in a natural language and it will figure out what you want to create. I set it up so that when I press the action button, it opens Fantastical. It's really useful when I quickly need to create an event for a meeting or my next dentist appointment. But I feel this is something that Siri will be able to do in the near future, especially with Apple Intelligence being developed now. But until then, Fantastical is the best option. Now, Apple's new journaling app seems basic at first, but it turns out to be a really clever tool. I don't think I have seen a journaling app like this on Android. When you want to journal, you can start from scratch or pick something from the suggestions, which are based on your recent activities. These activities are automatically curated from the photos you took, the places you visited, and the music you listened to. I find this really helpful when I want to reflect on my day or week. Being able to see what I have done through a visual timeline is very helpful. And even if you don't feel like writing anything, seeing these memories feels nice and relaxing. And now we are seeing more and more AI journaling apps like Rosebud, where AI becomes your writing partner. But again, I'm excited to see how Apple Journal will be improved with Apple Intelligence. Okay, Drew is one of the first apps that I installed on my iPhone whenever I get a new one. It has been around for forever, ever since I got my first iPhone, but it's still one of the most popular iOS apps, and I can see why. It does one thing really well, and that is to remind you to do stuff. When the reminder comes up, it keeps on reminding you until you either do it or snooze it. This persistence is what makes it really useful. Unlike normal reminder or task apps that notify you only once, this app just keeps on nagging you until you do something about it. Sure, it can be annoying at times, but it is very effective. So I usually keep most of my tasks on my Note app, but for the most important things that I absolutely must remember, like paying taxes and submitting important documents, I put them on Drew. I heard TickTick has a similar feature now, but not sure how reliable that is. If you tried it, let me know in the comments, but I think it was one of the premium features if I remember correctly. Anyway, Drew is super cheap, only around $3 a year, which is a steal. The next one is Craft, which is probably the most beautifully designed note app I've ever seen. Many people use it to keep their ideas, manage projects, plan a trip, take meeting notes, manage to-do lists, and so on. Some use it as their digital bullet journal, which I think is perfect for this app. If you like simple note apps like Apple Notes and Google Keep, you will love Craft because it's simple and easy to use, but flexible enough to do whatever you want. It takes less than a second to open and you can start writing. It could be either a new document, a quick note, or a reminder. I love how quickly you can create a new task like this. Quick Note will take you to the Daily Note, which is the place you can dump all of your thoughts and ideas without needing to think about where to put them. Here, you can write and insert things like tables and tasks, but they now have a whiteboard. Whiteboards on mobile tend to be, a little bit awkward to use, but I actually like this one. It's easy to put things on the board and arrange them. They look already nice without even trying to make them look good. Being able to add a sketch is also really nice. I like to doodle when I'm brainstorming or thinking of ideas, so if you're like that, you will love it. Then to write something new, you can just add a page break or start an entirely new document. There are going to be a lot of documents over time, but you can organize them using folders. They also added some AI features, so check it out if you're curious. Okay, speaking of keeping ideas, my go-to app for that is Napkin. They recently released an iOS app, and it's been such a great addition to my life. Napkin is like my serendipity machine. I keep my favorite passages from books and articles in here and just open up to get inspiration. I find it really helpful to review them like this because otherwise I always forget what I read. Also, it's much more calming and relaxing than doom scrolling on X or Instagram. Instead of stressful news or silly gossip, I can just look at the things that I found interesting, cool, or motivational. Finally, on iPhone, they are some of the best focus apps. My favorite one is Opal. Whether you want to do deep work or want to be more present with your friends and family, this app is great. Just tap block now and choose how long you want to focus and which apps you want to block. I really like how it grays out the blocked apps and making it impossible to open them. That way I can stop myself from checking them too often. You can even schedule a focus session so that it automatically starts when you want it to. But recently I found another really cool app called WillStone that does something similar. I actually like how this encouraged you to reduce the screen time and at the same time take challenges like walk, exercise, and meditate more. So this is also worth checking out. Okay, if you want to know more about what I have on my iPhone, check this video out. Alright, thank you so much for watching till the end. I really appreciate for sticking around to the end of this video. Let me know what you found interesting in the comments below. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye!